Morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world today. Welcome to Mobility Flow. Let's start by sitting on our mat in a comfortable cross-legged position. Lengthening through the crown of the head, dropping the shoulders, index fingers touching thumbs. And we'll start by just checking in with the sensations in the body. Noticing sensations that are present in the lower limbs and hips. Without judgment, just noticing how you're feeling today. Checking in with the lower back and the abdomen. The spine, shoulder blades, chest and the shoulders, hands and arms, the neck and head. Being aware of the physical sensations that are present in the whole body. And we'll start by moving the neck a little bit today. So taking the hands down to the mat, and we're just going to rock the head over to the left side, stretching the right side of the neck. Gently. And then opposite side. Starting with just some kind of exploration of the sensations present on the neck. Not trying to do a big stretch right at the gate. You're going to alternate sides. So taking a breath and then moving over to the other side. Noticing where you feel any stiffness or discomfort. And then we'll come through center and drop chin to chest. With the chin down towards the chest, we're just going to rock from side to side. Don't be alarmed if you hear some sounds. And come up to the center. And relax the shoulders. And then we're going to take this into a little bit bigger of a stretch. So left ear to left shoulder and the left hand on the outside of the head here. Not pulling, but allowing gravity to take the head over, using that increased weight from the arm, reaching down through the right fingers, or perhaps the whole palm of the hand, depends on your mobility today. And we'll turn and look at the knee, and then look straight ahead. One more time, looking at the knee, slowly, slowly, and looking straight ahead. Release. Relax your shoulders. Dropping right ear to right shoulder. Again, using the hand just for a little extra weight on the side here. Reaching down through the fingertips. One side is bound to feel different than the other. Deep slow breaths in and out of the nose. Rotating to look at the right knee. And then straight ahead. Looking at the knee. And stand up. Longer. Nice. And we come into all fours on the mat, the tabletop position. Knees underneath the hips, just underneath the shoulders. Take a breath here with a neutral spine first. And we already cracked how this spine, so reaching the tailbone and top it up to the ceiling as you inhale and rounding the spine as you exhale. Starting with small movements, leading the breath with own natural breath. Noticing where you're holding tension today. Good. And then you tuck the toes under and shift the hips back. We'll stretch across the edges of the feet. Let your toes stretch. And then we'll keep getting back. So we're on our feet and we flatten the thighs up. Lower with the spine. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Opening the chest and exhaling, bringing the elbows down and back into a cactus shape. Draw the shoulder blades back. Drop the shoulder blades in the ears. Breathe here. And I'll turn sideways so you can see me better. On the next inhale, we reach back through the pinkies, circle around, and as you exhale, you're going to press the thumbs forward, rounding your upper back. Same cat shape as in cat cow. Here you can add a little rock of the chin, moving through the neck again. Inhale to the center. Exhale, we're going to side bend over to the left side. Moving the spine in every direction. Inhale through the center, exhale to the other side. Inhale to the center. Breathe here. Inhale from the spine, from the top of the head, through the tail. Inhale, reach up. Exhale into your cactus. Breathe. Inhale, tracing back through the pinkies, opening the chest, and exhale, rounding the upper back. Press forward. Inhale up to center, exhale, side bend. Inhale through the center, exhale to the other side. Inhale into the center. If you're not already, step into the front of your mat, whichever side you decide is front today. Hands in front of the heart. And close the eyes if you want. Just take a moment to feel yourself grounded through your feet and breathe here. taking Hatha style, traditional style, ceremonial style, same salutation. Inhale, reaching up, opening your chest. Exhale, coming to a forward bend. Always okay to bend your knees in forward bend. You're gonna breathe here a few breaths. And your next inhale, plant your hand, stepping to the top of a push-up. And exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, sliding forward all the way to the belly, shoulders back. Cobra. Exhale, we move through the tabletop position, tuck the toes, hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here, also lengthening through the spine. Let your knees be soft. When you next inhale, looking forward, walk your feet on your hands. And exhale into that forward bend. Inhale all the way up. Exhale the hands in front of the heart. So we've modified the sun salutation a little bit to really focus on connection with the breath, removing the movements that can often interrupt breath connection. So let's try to make it as smooth and connected to the breath as possible. Inhale, reaching up, opening your chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the top of the push-up. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale into full breath. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, steps the feet, raise the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the top of the push-up. Exhale, knees, chest. Inhale, full breath. Exhale, down. Inhale, stepping your feet to the hands. Exhale, forward. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands up on the heart. 3 breaths. Right. Keeping the hands to the waist. Stepping your feet to the outside edges of your mat. And I'm going to face you so you can see them better. So a little bit wider than your normal stance here. Feet slightly wider than the hips. We're going to come into a forward bend. Bend your knees if you need to. Bring the hands onto the shins or onto the mat. Breathe here for 3 breaths, and then we're going to add some twisting of the spine. You may want to bend one knee and then the other to lengthen the hamstrings. So from this position, I'm going to plant my left hand and then rotate through the spine, finally reaching up through the right fingertips. It helps to bend this left knee, and it's totally okay to do so because we want to focus on the twist. Inhale here, exhale through the center, and then inhale to the other side. Connecting this twist with the breath. Exhale, center. In. Exhale. In. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This is the last one. And exhale. Bring the toes slightly out towards the corners of the mat and drop the hips. If you're really tight in this yogi squat, your heels might come up off the ground, which is okay. You may need to keep your hips a little bit higher, but if you're comfortable, keep dropping the hips down. We're going to take the palms of the hands in front of the heart, elbows on the inside of the knees. Breathing in. And as you exhale, we're going to stretch the backs of the legs. Now I'm going to turn back to the side of my mat here so that I'm the same as you. Toes are slightly turned out. We're going to go alternating inhale into the squat and exhale into the forward bend. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the head. Exhale, tail goes up, head goes down. Inhale, and exhale. Two more. Inhale, and exhale. From the forward bend, let's lift the hands back to the top of our push-up. Take 2 breaths here. And then dropping the knees. Lower yourself all the way down to the belly. Drop the shoulders down. Hands are slightly in front of the shoulders. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Using the strength in your back to draw the shoulder blades back to lift the chest. Let's breathe clear. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head even more. Exhale, the hips go back towards the heels. And then you're slowly releasing through. Back into this chest lifted position, drawing the shoulders back. Strengthening through the upper back. Inhale, exhale, press the hips back. Close the heels, you don't have to touch the heels. Breathing here. Let's take 3 breaths, especially with the forehead down. And together. Release, inhale. You slide all the way to the belly. Go ahead and drop one hand stacked on top of the next. Drop your forehead on the stacked hands. Relax the legs and your body. Breathe in. Even bend the knees and just rock the shins from side to side. Okay, eventual leg move here. Externally and internally rotating the femurs here in the hip sockets. Keeping your pelvis relatively flat and level. Don't worry about it too much. It's just that you want to feel the movement happening where the joint of the hip is moving through the hip socket. And slow, deliberate movements. Send your legs, draw them towards each other. And we'll take the hands underneath the shoulders. Lengthen through the crown of the head, draw the shoulder blades back, just like you did before. This time we're going to press all the way up into Cobra. Lengthen the neck, drop the shoulder blades down and back. Breathe here. If this feels like too much on your lower back, you might want to bend the elbows slightly to decrease the angle. You may also try an elbows down position. Elbows slightly in front of your chest. This is Sphinx. Those options are good. Just trying to find some extension in the spine today. And whether you're in Cobra or Sphinx, we're going to shift the hips back once more. Let's bring the knees directly under the hips so that the hips are balanced above the knees. There's a little bit of a higher angle than child's pose. We're going to walk the hands forward, keeping the hips where they are. Start to slide through the fingers until your chest. And come down towards the floor or to the floor. And the chin can rest here, or you can drop the forehead, depending on what is most comfortable. Puppy pose. Inhale. Continuing to extend the spine, but this time adding that length underneath the armpits. And really focusing the spinal extension or the back and the upper spine. And many of us are very sticky. Especially with the chin on the mat. Although it may feel a little uncomfortable in the back of the neck, you can choose. But especially with the chin on the mat, this is really good at contouring the forward head posture of looking at your phone or your computer a lot. Technique, as they say, because the upper body is an extension, the upper spine, and the head is slightly back with the chest moving in front of the chin. And we sit most of the time in the opposite, in a shrimp-shaped configuration. And with the arms extended, you're also lengthening. There's muscles underneath the armpits, also the lats that run from under the armpits all the way down to the lower back. 2 more breaths here. This is being intense. And then we slide everything forward once more. That's right. And again, stacking the hands and dropping the forehead onto the hands. This might feel like a big relief after hanging out for a long time in the puppy pose like that. Breathe. Keeping the left arm in front of you, maybe even bring it closer to your body for extra support. We're going to bend the right knee and reach back and find that foot in whatever way that you can. You grab it from the inside to outside, but we're going to go over the top of the foot, over the top of the toes. And then once we have it, frame yourself up to look forward. You might already be feeling a stretch in your quads, especially if they're tight, which is common. You can stay here. You can also start to bend that right elbow up towards the ceiling, which is going to bring the stretch across your chest and the front of the shoulder. And press the heel of your right foot towards the floor. 2 more breaths here. And gently release. Yes. Bring the right hand for support in front of you. Bend the left knee. Again, you can access this foot, however, from the heel, from the underside, whatever is possible. And then we're going to wrap the fingers over the top of the toes. Frame everything up so that you're looking forward. Hips and shoulders square to the front of your mat. And then you can choose to stay here, or you can start to bend that left elbow up towards the ceiling and drop the left heel towards the floor. Pressing the pelvis towards the floor also. And gently release. Take one hand under the shoulders, then relax your tabletop. Take a couple cat-cow stretches here just to come back to neutral, kind of reset. So inhaling, tabletop, cow pose, tailbone and top of the head up to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the tailbone and pop the head down towards the floor. On your own breath, we'll take 4 cycles of breath here. We're going to tuck the toes under, shift the hips back first, press the body back into the toes, feel the stretch through the arch of the feet. And then we send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Lengthening, crown of the head away from the tail, belly towards the thighs. And from downward dog, we're going to reach the right heel up. Stretching that left heel towards the floor, right heel up towards the ceiling. Bend the right knee and pull it through. Shifting your shoulders over your wrists here to drop the knee near your right wrist. And slide that left foot back a little bit more. So we're finding pigeon pose. And we may take a larger or smaller angle depending on how our hip feels. So the further your heel is away from your body, the bigger the hip stretch is going to be. Most people like to have a slightly closed angle. Squaring everything to the front, really reaching back through the left leg as well. We're going to come up on the tips of the fingers. Try to square the hips forward. Not really collapsing forward, right? But lifting through the spine. Breathe here. Inhale, open the chest, and then as you exhale, you can start to fold forward. You can reach your arms as far forward as you like. You may want to rest the forehead on your stacked wrists or forearms. I'm going to stay here for 10 deep, slow breaths. So make adjustments so that you can feel comfortable, your eyes not hurting, etc. There's a suck so the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Tuck the left toes under and lift the knee. Step the right back. We're in the top of the push-up. Inhale here, exhale, knees, chest, chin to the left. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. You come down the dog, you reach the left heel, right bump. Open the chest here, reaching down towards the right thigh, the head and the left knee. Pull it towards the chest, shift everything over so that we can bring the left knee close to our left wrist. Reach the right leg back. Again, adjusting the angle in a way that feels sustainable for you. Squaring everything to the front of the mat, coming up on the fingertips, draw the shoulder blades back. Breathe. Inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. 10 breaths in pigeon pose. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the right toes under the knee and step back to the top of the push-up. Inhale, exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale to come the knees apart, toes together, hips back, press them all the way back as far as you can. And then find your extended chest. With always the hips do not need to touch the heel. If you feel that you are slanted too much towards the forehead and it's uncomfortable, I recommend bringing the arms towards you so you can rest your forehead on the stacked hands, which levels out that excitement. My emphasis here is on feeling grounded, connected to the earth, introspective, because you can see what's going on around us. And also that three-dimensional breath where we are constricted in the front of the body. So we're breathing in between the shoulder blades, breathing into the back legs. This also takes the lower back out of lordosis, causing different lengthening of your nerves. So you don't need to have hips or heels for that to happen. You don't need your knees to be together for that to happen. You don't need your arms to extend for that to happen. So take the variations that feel most spiritual to it. If it feels like spirit. Just feel it on the hands. Then walk yourself up to sit on your heels. Come into a comfortable seated position on your mat. Use a cushion today. It can be cross-legged position. It can be hero's pose with your heels between your, with your hips between your heels. Lengthening the crown of the head and lengthening the tail. Just resting the palms on the knees, or conversely, opening the palms towards the ceiling. Let's close the eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or you can take a soft focus gaze. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And without trying to change it or control it in any way, we're simply going to follow the breath as it moves in and out of the body. So noticing the sensation of the breath around the nostrils, temperature of the breath as it enters the body, the sensation of the breath moving through the sinuses down the throat, expansion of the lungs, and how it moves your chest, your ribs, your belly, and then that external flow, outward flow, how it affects your navel, the muscles of your torso, feeling the sensation of the now warm breath moving through the throat and out the nose. So really concentrating, getting granular about the sensation of breath without trying to control it or change it too much. As you're noticing and watching the breath, you notice that your mind wanders. Maybe we're thinking about other things, which is normal. You can just notice when that happens. Try to shift your awareness back to noticing your breath. In the class with the physiological side, so what's going to happen is you'll first inhale to fill the lungs completely. Fill the lungs as much as you can by inhaling smoothly and gently through the nose. And at the top of this breath, when you feel like your lungs are already full, you're going to sip a short extra breath in through the nose a little bit faster. And then exhale through an open mouth. Smooth, slow exhale, but through an open mouth. So together, breathing in through the nose. One more sip of air through the nose. Exhale through an open mouth. Inhale. Sip. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Sip. Exhale. And then returning to normal breathing. Index fingers can touch thumbs. Just like at the beginning of the class, checking in with the state of the physical body. Noticing sensations, potential changes that have occurred in the lower limbs and hips, pelvis, lower back, abdomen, upper back, rib cage and chest, shoulders and the upper limbs, neck and throat, skull and face. Awareness of the state of the physical body. Awareness of the state of your breath. And awareness of the state of your thoughts. Hands in front of the heart, thumbs slightly touch the sternum. And as we bow forward, our thumbs come to touch the eyebrow center, coming into it. Thank you, as always, for practicing.